Hi, everybody. My name is J.S. Gilbert. Just call me J.S. And yes, my background includes working in technology. I go as far back as ARPANET, which is predates the internet, and I did get an opportunity to work a little bit doing some advisory work on the internet. So I have written a lot on numerous aspects of technology over the years, and I consult with business and industry and work a great deal in advertising. And I enjoy combining technology and psychology and sociology, all of that together in terms of crafting messages in advertising. The one thing that I am not is I am not an expert on AI. In fact, most of the experts on AI that I know won't tell you they're experts on AI. It is a very fluid and ever changing landscape. And so, at best, what I try to do is to look out there at the landscape of AI and try and figure out what's what. Maybe the pulling the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. What looks like it's going to be promising, what is trending. I don't know if you guys are aware, the Wall Street Journal in the month of May had over 200 articles on AI or featuring the word AI. So it's just so far out there and so pervasive that what I try to do is make it palatable, if you will. So today I'm going to just give a little history, maybe some common sense and understanding, or at least the way I understand AI and how it's moving. And before I get started, though, I'd like to thank Priyanshi, the University of Lethbridge, the Dillon School of Business, Professor Sidney Shapiro, and his army of colleagues, students, and friends who have helped make these 2 days of talks happen, and for asking me to speak as well. So I hope you've all enjoyed the other speakers, and I look forward to the ones that will be following me. The first thing that I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about history. And what this is a blacksmith making a horseshoe. So let's just talk about the past for just a couple of minutes. So a good parallel to AI might be in speaking about the automotive industry. In the late 1800s, prior to the development of the car, there were millions of horses all over the world and in the United States. Um, I would say primarily they were used for transportation, horses, horse and carriage, so forth. Although they were used for lots of other things, agricultural purposes, and so on and so forth. So there were specialized blacksmiths everywhere called farriers, and their job was to make horseshoes, to fix carriages, and otherwise support the industry that was based on horse-drawn um, uh, or horsepower, I should say. Um, and there were millions of them. Um, Now, in the late 1800s, very late 1800s, we saw automobiles. And what this did was, as cars were being adopted by people, uh, we saw both a need for new jobs to be filled to support the automotive industry, as well as a gradual decline in the jobs that had been supporting horse-drawn carriages and the farriers and so on and so forth. So it's about a period of, say, 70 years or so that we saw numerous opportunities for people to work in design, and cars were all that anybody talked about, just like AI is what they're talking about now. So in the 1920s in the United States, there were an estimated 2,000 companies that were making cars, 2,000 companies. And within 25 to 30 years, that number had shrunk down to less than 40. By 1955, there were just 5 car manufacturers that accounted for 99% of automobile production. Still, a huge, huge industry, whether you're talking 2,000 manufacturers, 5 manufacturers, it's huge and opened up tons and tons and tons of jobs and led to further increases in technology and developments and so forth, and things that are used in other places besides the automotive industry. So the parallel here, of course, is everybody's talking about AI. There's a million companies out there that are doing AI. And where might this land would be in 15, 20 years from now. There will be in each kind of category a few leaders and some rogues. But over that time, people who are going to be displaced, it will be done gradually. And the new jobs that are coming in, that will also kind of be gradual as well. So, let's see, I did all these slides here. Yeah, there's the cars, old cars, beautiful old cars. And then that's what we got today, right? So, and the thing that's absolutely amazing is the use of AI in these cars. So, global positioning systems, GPS, the computers that are in here, and even systems that are used in self-driving cars or other safety systems that have been installed. So there you go. Anyway, many people think that AI is going to create sentient robots whose role is going to be to extinguish mankind. And if we do see killer robots, it's going to be because somebody built a robot and somebody programmed that robot to be a killer. It is not going to be because AI has evolved and suddenly got some sort of abilities beyond what it knows, what it understands. So AI is the ability of machines to mimic, and mimic is an important word, human cognitive functions like learning and problem solving. And yes, it can do it super fast, and it's getting faster all the time and getting better all the time. But there's also problems, there's limitations, there's things that we've all heard about. So you've got to look at it as a tool, and that's what we're looking at. So this AI that we're talking about is called cognitive, or I'm sorry, not cognitive. It's generative AI. And the AI that's usually talked about as destroying the world and taking over, that's general AI. And you don't really need to be concerned about general AI because it doesn't exist, and there's a good chance it may never exist. And you don't really, this is sensationalism. So when you see conversations that people have had with AI where the AI talks about the fact that, oh, maybe I would need to kill people or whatever, first of all, it doesn't have the ability to do so. Second of all, the programming or the machine learning that went into that robot, if you will, was all kinds of flawed and biased information and things of that nature. So again, we don't need to worry so much about robots or, killer AI as much as we need to worry about bad actors and individuals who are not using AI for good purposes. So In the 1960s, by the way, there was a program, a software program created called ELIZA, and a lot of a lot of people actually thought that it was a human when they were interacting with it, and it was just a software program. So, you can consider the beginnings of AI, or AI is pretty much any software program that's ever been written. Certainly, definitions would cover it. You could also include automatons. From these are little program things, um, music boxes, or little kind of, well, robots, but mechanical. Some of them go back to the 1600s. That could be considered AI too. So I think we maybe need to get off of the AI, nomenclature. And what we need to do is really just look at each individual use case and what is being done and developed, and what makes the most sense in terms of moving forward and all that. So um, let's see. I have notes. I'm sorry. Um, I think, uh, yeah, AI creators fear the extinction of humanity. These are um, these are some of the types of AIs that people might be familiar with right here. ChatGPT, of course. Now we have GPT 4.0, Gemini, Llama, Claude, Grok, Mistral, Runway, MM1, Hugging Face, Gamma. So it's pretty amazing what can be done. And it seems like every week there's major strides that are being made. So um, I think what we're going to see is, and there we go, bunch of people saying why it probably won't kill us. Although I think Elon there in the middle thinks it will, and maybe so it's really rough, because if you talk to 50 people who are in this space and really are well known, not people like me, but really well known people, you'll get all kinds of answers and responses. So I think it becomes incumbent upon ourselves to not stay static, and to spend as much time as we can paying attention to what is going on in the space, and also understanding that a lot of what we're going to hear is going to be lies and problematic, and so you need to do something about that, and we'll get to that in a moment. um, AI will create new jobs that are centered on collaboration between humans and the AI. um, oh, this is kind of cool. uh, I just thought this was insane. Woman finds her forever partner, an AI hologram. She's going to marry an AI hologram. So, Einstein, after we dropped the atom bomb, he said everything about us has changed except for the way that we think. And I don't know. I have trouble wrapping my head around some of this stuff, but yeah. New World. Newsweek. The end. Could artificial intelligence kill us off? Again, I think if it does, it's because somebody somewhere willed it to be so, or somebody somewhere screwed up really big. And that's why uh, we need controls. We need lots of things. So AI told me to kill the queen, and it goes on and on and on. 25% chance AI will destroy humanity. And so this actually is a list. It shows you of most import to least import what people were thinking. AI makes it easy to spread false information, deep fakes. AI systems manipulate large scale public opinion trends. Authoritarian rulers use AI to control their population. Um, AI systems worsen economic inequality. AI lets dangerous groups make powerful tools. So these are more realistic fears that we should have regarding AI and its use. I found this very funny. Strong AI invented. Teach it ethics. Yes, these humans violating ethics constantly. All humans killed. Teach it ethics? No. Robot has no concept of good or evil. Program it to survive. Yes. Anyway, this is talking about general or what they call super AI. When AI allegedly is so advanced that it's a million times smarter than us, and this is what it's going to do. And by then I'll be like 3 million years old. I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. Okay. So AI is going to create new jobs centered on collaboration between humans and AI. We're going to need curating and data labeling for training AI models. There's going to need to be AI specialists that can ensure transparency and fairness in AI decision-making processes. AI integration specialists that are going to be able to integrate AI so that it makes sense into existing products and services or new products and services. There's going to need to be business analysts for AI. I can tell you I've used a lot of AI apps that generate SQL, for example, and the code that comes out is not great. I mean, it's interesting, but if you don't have somebody who really knows what's going on, and for those of you who are coders who have to go in and look at other people's code to figure out what they've been doing, yeah, so that's going to be a big job, and for a long time. And the expertise in Python, SQL, analytics, and statistics is all going to increase. So AI is not going to replace anybody that is working in this genre. It's not going to happen. It can't. There are just too many reasons why it can't, and I can't in 20 minutes go into explaining it. But I'm sure you've probably heard some of that from other speakers already. Um, anyway, uh, the positions that I think are going to be affected quicker than some of the others are going to be things like data entry clerks and things that require repetitive tasks like working in assembly lines and so on and so forth, customer service. So I think what the key here is the need for continuous learning and development to adapt to the changing job landscape. And AI is going to open up new avenues for critical thinking. I promote critical thinking a great deal. And I argue that AI is not capable of critical thinking. Others will tell you it can. But that critical thinking working alongside I think will probably come to some of the best solutions. There's also an aspect of creativity and innovation that AI is not capable of. I know we think that AI can paint masterpieces and things like that, but this is it's based on existing things, so it can't really come up with anything that I would consider to be really new or novel. It's interesting, it's exciting, it has a place. Oh, okay. And am I already at 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Because this wasn't there. All right. The only thing I want to just say before we go on to questions, uh, the potential threats from AI, and I think everybody probably knows it: bias and discrimination, privacy concerns, lack of transparency, and as we mentioned before, job displacement in certain sectors. What we need to do is to look at um, the present and the future. So I believe safety measures that need to come into play include education awareness, standardizing AI development practices, algorithmic auditing, and additional cybersecurity. And the best thing that you can do is just to learn every day. Become involved in the future of AI by volunteering, offering opinions, insights, and otherwise working to develop and or use AI in positive and meaningful ways. So I'm going to end there. There were a few other things that I was going to say, but I don't know what happened. So if there are any questions that I'm actually capable of answering.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jess, for this insightful, valuable things to tell. And it's fascinating to see that how AI can be both transformative as well as challenging. And I do agree that AI is not capable of creative thinking or not even critical thinking, right? So we now have 10 minutes for questions, and anyone is there who just want to ask something?
Thank you, Sydney.
Yeah, I noticed
Yes.
it on LinkedIn. I saw.
Yeah, I
So,
wear a bunch of different hats. So if any of you have actually played video games or whatever, then you've probably heard my voice. Well, if there's no questions, then let me go in here and talk. I'm going to tell you about some of what I feel will be helpful as we move forward. And then Priyanshi, just stop me if anybody's got a question.
okay,
Uh,
sure.
I believe that KYC, which is that stands for Know Your Customer, I think it's going to become very, very important in business, in social media, in almost everything. Right now, there is some danger in terms of this whole aspect of social media where you can just stumble across anybody, this discoverability. In the future, that's going to become difficult because right now you may be having conversations with bots and things like that, but their abilities are going to become incredible. The deep fake abilities, the ability to have a conversation with somebody in your voice to the point where the person thinks they're speaking to you, even video. And okay. Naveen says, why do I think that AI can't be creative? Is there any specific, what was the, I didn't see the rest of it.
Specific reason for that. Uh,
Oh, um, well, it's, it's, I suppose it depends on how you use the word creative and what you think creativity is. So, and I tend to be a little bit old school. So, I guess to me, what I see as generative AI is more along the lines of it's it's filling in blanks. It's drawing information from things that already exist and it's filling in blanks. Whereas maybe I'm sitting at home and let's just use art as an example, and I decide I want to paint a painting with my own blood. And then afterwards, I want to put wax on it and maybe use soup as an element for creating things. Unless this kind of thing is really covered in the data that it's been learning with, it doesn't have that ability. So it's very limited to that data. Now, people talk about it hallucinating and things of that nature. Hey, we all make mistakes. So when I do things that are critical in terms of business, there are usually checks and balances and people that are paying attention, that are looking at what I'm doing, and then making sure that there's a level of accuracy and that it's appropriate. Unfortunately, a lot of people are using AI tools right now, and they are just allowing it to stand lock, stock, and barrel. Um, and that is a problem. So, how many? students are using AI text tools to create their papers and their resumes and things of that nature, or other individuals. So it's it's not creative. It's not like sitting down and coming up with this stuff on your own. Now, AI can certainly help you. For example, if I sat down with ChatGPT and said, I'm going to be giving a talk about some of the problems with AI, what do you think that talk should include? It probably will give me some good stuff, you know. Or if I sat down and said I'm going to write a story, and it can give me some, you know, good character information or settings. It can write an entire story, but I just don't feel that's creative, really, because it's taking existing elements and it's just throwing them up in the air. Um, so in a lot of cases where it's doing problem solving, it's just basically going out there and it's like Occam's razor. It just finds the most appropriate answer to provide. So um, I'll jump back a few other things that I have. How much time do I got here, or is there another question? I got like 2 minutes left. Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Shanal is
think
also
that,
saying that she thinks that AI can create, but it isn't creative. Yeah.
yeah, it can create, but it isn't creative. It's right.
Yes.
It's very good. Trusted circles. Um, So again, I mentioned this, since deep fakes are getting better all the time, you need to ensure that you have ways to process and determine whether something is real or not. And this has been kind of going on for a long time. Online reviews, and recommendations, and not being able to understand or interpret them, having them generated by bots, or, you know, people getting paid a few bucks, things like that. So we're just going to see this uh, exponentially. Uh, we're going to see all kinds of propaganda and manipulation of data, things of that nature. You know, the Gutenberg press. For those of you, I think I even have the Gutenberg press. There it is, Gutenberg press. Which came out in 1440. So by the 16th century, the elite were able to control the masses because they had this movable type, and they could provide all kinds of propaganda. It's interesting, in World War I and World War II, you know, they dropped leaflets out of planes for propaganda. Um, and the radio was used for propaganda. So we're going to be seeing a lot more of this, and uh, the quality is going to be better. So you'll see something that you think is real, and it isn't. So who do you turn to? Where do you go to actually find out when things are real or they're not? And that's a problem.
Yeah.
So there's all these things, and I would just say that you need to again be involved in the future of AI and constantly be looking for sources to support all this,
Mm.
and not really worry a whole lot about the problems. So
Yeah. So
as
thank
someone
you.
that works in the creative industry,
Yeah. There are many questions, and I'd like you to address it at the end of session because we will get behind. So thank you. Thank you
yeah,
so much, Des, for your valuable insights. And
thank you.